From horsepower gains to custom enhancement, we deliver results. Late model Racecraft. We talking or we racing?
Welcome back to the channel, guys. I have a beautiful one for you today. Mr. Zaleski's brand new 2024 Escalade. Mr. Zaleski, I believe, was at the dealership. He is local to us here in Houston. I think he was looking for an Escalade V, and they were very hard to find. It wasn't quite available. So he purchased the 24 Escalade behind me and gave us a call and said, man, I want it like an Escalade V. I want more horsepower, a little bit more sound out of it if you can. And guys, I think we came up with a perfect package for these vehicles. So let me pop the hood and kind of go over what we did to it, as well as how much horsepower gains we got out of it versus what Escalade Vs do. So as soon as you pop the hood, in my opinion, the way that this package sits, the 2650, it almost looks like it came from the factory like this. And again, the Escalade V is a 2650 Supercharger from the factory. Well, we decided to do the exact same thing. We did a Magnuson 2650, roughly 6 pounds of boost, and we kept stock manifolds on it, stock cats. I wanted these Escalades, because this is a daily driver for him, I wanted it to be a vehicle that drove like stock, sounded a little bit like stock until you wanted to get on it and actually use it. So 2650 Supercharger, which is a very efficient supercharger, especially at the boost level that we're at. We're not spinning the supercharger that hard because of the fuel system. We are pretty much maximizing the factory fuel system. If he wants more later, we'll have to upgrade the fuel system and then we can turn the boost up. But also, the difference between an Escalade V and these is the short block. Escalade V comes with forged internals. This does not. So we kind of have a limit of where I say the boost it can be for the stock pistons, as well as the fuel system can only support so much. So if he wants more in the future, fuel system, and depending on how much more he wants, we'll determine on if we have to go into the short block to change the pistons out. But for just purchasing a vehicle and then doing this package, you're talking, he's probably still $30,000 or $40,000 cheaper than buying an Escalade V. So supercharger under the hood gives us the performance we want. The beautiful Vossen, we did 24-inch wheels and tires to give it a good look like the Escalade V. And you really can't see the exhaust system, but we do a full catback exhaust system, and it looks factory because of the tailpipes. It's obviously, these are in the bumper, guys. These aren't actual real tailpipes. It's just in the bumper. But the sound this thing gets, which you'll hear in a second, in my opinion, it sounds pretty dang close to an Escalade V. So you guys out there looking for more horsepower, y'all can see we just put a 700 horsepower badge on it. This thing came to us, we baselined it on the hub dyno. I believe it was like 334 rear wheel horsepower. We finished with 526 rear wheel horsepower. You're talking almost 200 rear wheel horsepower gain. So I know I keep comparing to an Escalade V, but this compared to a stock Escalade, night and day difference. So he will not have any trouble merging or trying to accelerate onto this crazy I-10 traffic here, or to get onto the road. Like the regular Escalade, you'll have to step on. Even though it's a 6.2 liter engine, you got to get on it pretty hard to move this heavy vehicle. Now with instant boost and instant torque, it makes it a lot easier to put this vehicle where you want it to put. There was something else I was gonna say and I completely blanked out there, Jason. Oh, as far as dyno numbers. So just for reference, guys, the Escalade V, we've done some since, but the last couple that we did, we baselined them on the Dynajet. They were around 511 to 514 rear wheel horsepower. I'll say 511 to 520. So that gives you an idea. That Dynajet is usually about 20 or 30 horsepower less. So that shows you that this thing is making roughly 30 to 50 horsepower more than a factory Escalade V. But I'm gonna hop in it now. I want y'all guys to hear this thing as far as the supercharger noise, which isn't very that loud in my opinion. I love the way it is just because all you have is raw torque, and then the exhaust sound, in my opinion, sounds phenomenal. But I'm gonna hop in it now, do some 0 to 60s, to let you guys see what this thing can do. in Mr. Zaleski's brand new 2024 Escalade. I believe he was actually at the dealership looking to get Escalade Vs. And I don't think they were available at the time. They are hard to get. And bought the Escalade, wanted more performance out of it, and gave us a call. And in my opinion, we provided the perfect package to exceed what a factory Escalade V will be. With a simple Magnuson 2650, we have a nice catback exhaust system on it for sound. And again, with this root style blower, the instant torque you get from driving this thing is phenomenal, as well as it still drives like a factory vehicle, which is, in my book, a big bonus. You know, most of these vehicles we do, sometimes we put camshafts in them and stuff. Yeah, they still drive like stock, but they sound completely different. This car, if you didn't know any better, this is how it would come from the factory. So again, guys, you guys out there that have Escalades, that are looking for more horsepower, this is the perfect package for you. And actually, so we baselined this on our hub dyno. On the hub dyno, this thing made 334 rear wheel horsepower, 335 rear wheel torque. When we were done with it, it made 526 rear wheel horsepower, 462 rear wheel torque. You're talking almost 200 rear wheel horsepower gains over stock. And just for reference, the Escalade Vs, the last couple on our Dynajet have baselined around 511 to 514 rear wheel horsepower. So as you can tell, between the two dynos, it's about 20 or 30 horsepower difference. So this thing is solidly making, I'll just say, 30 to 50 horsepower more than an Escalade V stock. So I'm out for the first test drive, or actually we've actually test driven the car plenty. I got Jason with me right now. I want to do a few dig runs to show you guys what this thing can do in two-wheel drive, as well as putting it in four-wheel drive. We'll do a few launches from a dig, and then maybe on the way back to the shop, we'll do a few roll passes as well. But Jason's gonna get out now, and yeah, let's see what this thing can do. You ready? So I did test drive this earlier, guys. Obviously tuning it and logging it and everything. Jason will probably throw that in there. In two-wheel drive from a dig, it is gonna spin, but I just wanna show y'all on camera what it does, and then we can put it in four-wheel drive and it should dead hook and go. But yeah, test drove it earlier, was logging it. We had the wideband in the car so we can actually see what the air fuel is. Again, guys, that's just to make sure that the tune-up is right. Yeah, we tune them on the hub dyno, and it does simulate the car on the street. Just these heavy vehicles, I like to test drive again and log again heavily on the street, just because of the shift points and the weight of this vehicle compared to Corvettes and Camaros. It has a much bigger load on the engine. So I want to make sure these things, again, these are daily drivers. Mr. Zaleski's driving this car every single day. You know, I mean, yes, we tell him he has to run 93 octane, but even with that, I have to make sure the tune-ups are nice and safe so that he can drive it every day. And if for some reason someone in a 5.0 Mustang pulls it next to him at a stoplight, he has all the confidence in it, and I have the confidence in it that he can do whatever he wants. And this thing will still be in one piece and live for a long time. I'm waiting for Jason to get his camera set up. And like I said, so vehicle information, I'm gonna go to traction control. I'm gonna turn it off for this first pull, just so y'all can see how bad it kind of spins. I'll probably have to pedal. I'll let it spin in first, I'll pedal it, let it grab second, and go from there. So stall it up to about 2,000 RPMs. That wasn't that bad. Earlier spun way worse. And that's a quick 0 to almost 70 miles an hour right there. That actually was good. Maybe I have more heat in the tires. Earlier, the pull I made, it just went almost right to the rev limiter in first gear. It just blew right through the tires. And this thing has a nice Vossen 22-inch wheel on it with a big tire on it. You know, it's obviously bigger than factory. So for it to spin these tires, you know it's making that kind of torque. And 200 rear wheel horsepower gain over stock is a tremendous difference. Again, I keep comparing it to an Escalade V, but comparing it to a stock Escalade, night and day difference. Your average customer like Matt, he will see the difference just in normal driving, just accelerating onto the highway, you know, on your on-ramp, you just barely give it gas, and the torque it has, it makes this heavy vehicle move a lot easier. This thing stock, my wife had a regular Escalade as well before we got the Escalade V, and getting on an on-ramp, I mean, even if it's a 6.2 engine, again, heavy vehicle, you had to get on it pretty good to get going. So now with this setup, very easy, just light driving, and whenever you need to, you just barely roll into it, let it make, 5-6 pounds of boost, and it just takes off. Much easier to drive, much easier to pass when you want to pass and do what you want to do. I'm going to do one more of those, and then we'll put it in 4-wheel high and show you how it'll just dead hook and go. That didn't spin that bad at all. I mean, it left a lot of marks, huh? Okay, but earlier the pull I made, it just blew the tires off in first gear. That actually was like spinning and it went. I'm gonna do that one more time, and then I'll do a 4-wheel drive showing that it just hooks and goes. Do what?
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, these things are so much fun to drive just because they're so comfortable. This, in my opinion, just like the Escalade Vs, these are the perfect daily drivers, especially if you have family like myself. That is awesome. That is awesome. I don't know how much Matt will be doing that unless someone pulls up next to him, but if he ever wants to, Matt, turn traction control off like that, and you can leave black marks through any intersection you want. Or you can leave traction control on, and it will pull timing automatically, and it will cause it to hook up. Torque management pulls timing to keep traction control, to keep it from spinning the tires through a stoplight. But I'm gonna leave traction control off, and I'm gonna put it in 4-wheel drive here, 4-wheel high, to show you guys the difference. This thing, it'll dead hook and go in 4-wheel drive. And that is the other difference between this and the Escalade V. The Escalade V is all-wheel drive. It's 4-wheel drive, it's all-wheel drive. It has it all the time. Where this one, we can put 2-wheel or 4-wheel whenever we want to. How was that? I was gonna do a 4-wheel drive high real quick, launch, and then be done. One more, yeah. Because it won't spin. Yeah, that thing left. I know y'all can't see it, guys, but maybe from the back, Jason will show y'all. It's leaving good black marks. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in 4-wheel high right now. And now this thing should just dead hook and go. And again, you see I'm just hot lapping this thing. So the 2650, just like the Escalade Vs and just like all the other ones that we do, is a very efficient supercharger. So intake air temps don't get crazy high. We're not spinning the supercharger that high. Again, like I said about the fuel system, we can only make so much boost because of the stock fuel system. So again, 2,000 RPM, watch this thing dead hook and go. Way better. Way better. And that was with traction control off. So that shows you right there how well all-wheel drive helps in these vehicles, or in any vehicle for that matter. When it comes to drag racing and racing, all-wheel drive is the way to go if it'll stay hooked up and not break parts. Go back to 2-wheel. And yeah, guys, again, I'm not going crazy speeds, but even this thing from a roll, if you wanted to, you can put it down. It's called L. Downshift this thing. And then like I said, someone pulls up next to you and just... That's me manually shifting it. So you can do both. Again, most Escalade customers aren't going to be roll racing these things, but in case they want to, they can do what I just did right there. But yeah, let's see what Jason wants to do now. What you want, bud? Where you want me? Right here? All right, I'm gonna get out and talk, and you'll probably see this after I do the intro. we'll do stuff backwards sometimes. But I hope you guys like that. Again, it's hard to beat a car that is so comfortable, family friendly. Again, I have 3 kids and we have one of these things. All 3 kids sit comfortably. It's just an Escalade. It's hard to describe how well they drive, but until you own one and drive one for yourself, you really don't know how smooth these things ride and how comfortable they truly are. And then just by adding the root style blower to it, yes, it gave us the horsepower we wanted, but then to add just the catback, it made it so it now sounds like an Escalade V or sounds like a performance vehicle when you get on it. But for normal driving and normal cruising, there's no drone in the car. It actually sounds stock when you're on the highway. So again, in my opinion, we have the perfect package for you if you're an Escalade guy out there looking for more horsepower. Give us a call and we'll get you taken care of. As always, guys, if y'all have questions or like this video, always please give it a thumbs up and definitely comment below on any questions you might have. And until next time.